Hello, and welcome back to the Kyle Davis Show. So, I'm going to be doing something a little different today. I'm going to be talking about the truth of psychology majors. So, to start, I actually have a psychology degree, Bachelor's of Science in Psychology, and I have been pursuing my master's in social work, believe it or not. If you've been through my YouTube channel, that would come as a shock to you. So here's the deal. I think psychology is great. I think it's definitely useful, but the bottom line is you need to know what you are going to do with it. Okay? So here's what it comes down to is if you don't know what you're going to do with it, you should stay away from it. Because psychology is so broad and it's so vague that you can literally do just about anything with it. And so it should almost be treated like a communications major. And typically, to my understanding, the way communications majors work is you actually have to minor in something specific, or you have to get a concentration in something specific. Psychology, you don't have to get into anything specific other than psychology. And so what happens then is you can do a whole host of different things with the psychology major, such as advertising, business. I know that the master's degree uh, called industrial organizational psychology is becoming popular pretty quickly, and it focuses on business and that kind of thing. So obviously, people, and I hope people know that there's more to do with psychology than just therapy and mental health. Well, that's probably the biggest one. There's more to it than that. And so you can do things in communication. You can do things in um, it's just it's too big in my opinion. And so that's my first warning is that you have to know what you're going to do with it. And if you're going to get a master's in psychology somewhere, you have to get good grades. Like really good grades, like almost straight A's. I'm honestly in a social work master's because I couldn't get into a master's of psychology, and I got pretty damn good grades. I had all not quite 4.0, but it was up there. And so, if you're not like the best student with all the best references and everything else, you can almost forget it. Again, it depends on the school, it depends on lots of different things, but it's it's rather difficult. My next warning is that social work and psychology, I guess the path I took it anyway, psychology, while it is based on science, it is not hard science. People know this. But then the application is less hard science, obviously. So, what does that mean, though? It means that while you could get more science related jobs, there's biology for that, there's microbiology for that. And so you can take microbiology as a psychology student. You can take biology or even minor in those things as a psychology student. The problem with that is going to be that finding a job in that field may be difficult because that was not your concentration. Hang on, I gotta find a place to sleep here. Hopefully there's some place coming up. And there's not, so let's hope I make it to that point. Well, this is gonna be interesting now, isn't it? And whoop! So, but that's my next warning is if you want to do something more science related, do a more science focused degree because that'll help you so much. My frustration, and I wish I would have, holy shit, nice. My frustration, look at that drop to 55 miles per hour. Anyway, my frustration, and I wish I would have realized this sooner, is that psychology was not science. It was not enough hard science for me. I've been working for quite some time in the social work psychology field. And there are very few paying jobs that are even in the $20 an hour range. And if it is $20 an hour, I doubt it's doing very well. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean that for entry-level students, for entry-level jobs, as a bachelor's with a psychology degree, it is worthless. It is fucking worthless. Okay? You have to get higher education somewhere, unless you are lucky and get some big break. The majority of jobs that are directly related to psychology are not going to pay worth shit. Okay? You are going... I'm not saying you shouldn't have to work up. Okay? But the pay for someone who has a psychology degree, or actually has a degree and actually knows something, than more so than other liberal arts or general education degree, and has some ability to apply it, the pay is crap. Now, I'm not saying psychology is great by any stretch. I believe it's how do I want to put it? The best of the worst, maybe? Psychology is not the degree that's going to get you a lot of money quickly, unless you go for more of a business route. And even then, unless you get a master's, it's really not going to be great. So my other this is the third warning now, maybe, is that if you are money driven, this is not the field for you. And so, yes, there are lots of jobs, and there are lots of people who are willing to pay you to do this work. So one example is home-based case management. And the idea behind that is you are contracted through CPS, Child Protective Services, throughout wherever you are, and you watch visitations happen. And so all you would do is you would monitor visits from CPS from children who've been taken away, and you just watch that visit. I know it's harder than it sounds, because you have to pay attention to, like, if they're high, if the parents are being ridiculous, how's the visit going, and actually have to report on everything. So it's not easy work, but it doesn't pay that well typically, and it's very it's not reliable work because parents might not show up or something. What? Speeding offense, my ass. It's not very reliable. The other thing that you can do is like jail work or prison work. And while they typically pay better, and it's definitely more reliable, and you will have speeding offense. What the hell? I'm at 55. Whatever. I don't even know. Okay. Anyway, jails and prisons and even, yeah, jails and prisons will pay more typically. However, it's hard work. You're gonna have to learn how to properly restrain people. You're gonna have to learn how to properly talk to people, and you can't just treat them like shit. And those people want respect. They want to be treated as a person. Well, if you have say a child rapist, or you have a murderer or something like that in those facilities, or that's where you're working with, you're going to have to treat them with respect. Oh, and by the way, they're not going to do what you want the first time you ask. They're going to call you every name but your real name, meaning they're going to cuss and swear at you. And if you can't deal with delinquency, if you can't deal with people talking back to you on a constant basis, that's not the field for you. Yet it will pay decent, but the work is ridiculous. So, yeah. My advice to any kind of psychology major is, unless you know specifically what you're going to do with it, stay out. And I know plans change. I know that, well, you can major and do all these things, and then, but unless you have a plan, I I I I I I just don't know. I would say stay away unless you have a rather specific plan. You know you're going to do with psychology, because again, it's just too vague a field. It's just too big. So, all right. Well, um, thanks for watching. Um, this has been the Kyle Davis Show. Bye.